Hi, Facebook.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, what it do, YouTube?
Happy New Year to everyone. We're excited to be back with you. And just look who we have with us today.
Hey, how you doing?
We have Sergeant Richard Lewis. Awesome,
Master
right?
Sergeant Richard
Master
Lewis.
Sergeant. Let me get this
That's
right.
right. Let's make that right.
With a full beard.
With a full... We should have a whole session on beards.
I know.
But are you having an exciting entrance to the new year? I certainly do hope so. I think our topic is going to help a lot of you out there this year. Because, Karen, what we've decided to talk about the power of words.
Words.
That's what we're going to discuss today.
Yes, so we wanted to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
You know, we're going into this new year with more being positive about our life, being positive about the outcome of the things that we call success, the things that are successful. And the only way I truly believe, Rick, to start in this journey of success is how you talk. Your words are powerful.
I think your words are everything, and I think that's one thing we have a huge misconception about is we take for granted that the stuff we say and how important it is and what impact it can have on our lives. So, I think we have to guard our words and pay attention to the things we say. So,
absolutely, and we had basically had a few lines in our conversation last night about the power of words and how we base this principle upon the Word of God. All of you out there that have read the Bible, you will know that in the first chapter of Genesis, it says that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and God said, "Let there be light." And it all began from the spoken word. And then we come all the way down to the book of John, who was a follower of Jesus Christ, and he begins to tell us that the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
and that in essence, Jesus was that spoken word, and we are all part of that, made in the image and the likeness of our Creator, so therefore we get to speak with power and with creativity also into our own lives and into our own world. I think that's awesome.
it is awesome because when you really think about it, God used word in order to create this planet and this universe.
Mm-hmm.
Those were his words. He spoke words and these things happened. So we got to think that if he created us in his image, then he also created us with the gift of word. We can think about animals and every other living being on this planet. We're the only ones that can use words.
My Misty can talk. I don't know about you guys.
Well, Misty can talk, but that's she's actually part of the same.
It's rare.
Those of you who don't know Misty it's my mom and Karen's dog. So, somehow she's become.
We try to turn her into a human. That's why we think she can talk. But I think we're just portraying our words off to her.
Right.
But in essence, it is true that we are made like our Creator. Therefore, we do have the power to talk. And I think, Rick, you've been reading a book. I believe I read that one, the first one there. No, this is your new book.
The book I just got for Christmas was As a Man Thinketh.
Oh, I like that.
And this one is edited by Ruth Miller, if anybody's looking to pick it up now. I'm not going to try to turn this into a religious dissertation. I think these guys can do that on their own. But, I just wanted to be a part of the conversation, and you can see I'm in the middle, so I got to show
He has no choice.
You see how we put him in the middle?
We're squeezing on him. But actually, whether or not we make it religious, it is a fact of life that your words are powerful. And in business or in sports or any endeavor you take upon, it is what you say that determines your outcome.
That's right. There are laws because the spoken word, there's a law in regards to the spoken word. Right?
I'm excited because I can remember when I did watch sports back in the day, And I would always watch what his name was in the beginning was Cassius Clay. But of course he changed that. And he was a man of many words. And he could almost defeat his opponent before he got in the ring by what he spoke to them.
Right, right.
And I just thought that was so awesome way back then. And as I studied and learned about the power of your words, even what I've experienced in my own life, the power of your words is just awesome. And it's something we ignore.
Right.
We say anything, anytime. We, especially when it comes to cold weather, and you say, I guess I'm catching a cold.
Yeah, you speak those things into existence. And, you know, a lot of times we don't know we do this. We're programmed to create our own environments. And when we say things, we take it for granted that those things that we're saying are actually creating our future.
That's right.
So when you say I'm sick, then guess what? You're sick.
You're sick.
But when you say I'm well, guess what? You're well. And if you have a hard time understanding that, all you got to do is start thinking of it like this. When you get mad, and you say, I'm mad, and then your brain creates a chemical reaction in your body called adrenaline, and it releases it to your muscles, and they do things. That's a chemical that's released by your brain from your words. So if you think of it like that, you realize how powerful your words are. When you say, I have cancer, guess what? You have cancer. The person that says I have cancer, the person that says I don't have cancer are both right.
Wow.
So and that's what you got to look at it like.
That is so true. That is so true.
Right,
And I think a lot of people who are dealing with cancers, such as I was dealing with some years ago, when you hear that word, cancer, you start, it brings in fear, and you begin speaking out of fear, and find yourself in the middle of a battle that you can't necessarily win.
Well, we are proliferated with the media and everything around us that programmed us to think that is a death sentence when you get that.
Right.
Because then you just jump right in the path in a rut and follow everyone else to whatever treatments they're going to give you. You put yourself at the hands of the medical industry, and they give you the three, what do they call it? The three treatments they have for cancer.
Right.
We're on cancer, but it's not really
Not
just
just
about
that.
cancer. I'm
Right.
just using that as an example. So
Right,
I don't want to
example.
really get
Absolutely.
stuck on that. But
Right.
let's just say it like this: is that we only have three treatments for cancer. We got radiation. We got what is the other one? Chemotherapy. And then we have when they operate.
There's surgery.
Surgery. So those are the only three.
They either cut it out or medicate it, or try to eradicate
The
it.
thing that really blows my mind about that industry is when you think about it, you can look this up yourself if you want to Google it, but chemotherapy only works 3% of the time.
Wow, that's
It's
amazing.
like 3%, and
That's
we're
amazing.
programmed to use that particular system in order to try to solve a problem that costs you your life.
That's right.
But, you know, I'm not going to get stuck on
So,
cancer. We can go with that.
even if we have something desperate like that, people will fight you tooth and nail to speak positive about it.
Yes.
Right.
They don't want you to do that. And
That's
even in
true.
yourself, you fight yourself when try to say something positive. It's the mind begins to latch on to the sense realm and won't allow you to be lifted up to another level of the power of the word.
Right.
There's no way you can't speak and things happen. Yes,
Well,
you can.
because we clothe these things in words like, you know, when you heal yourself from the power of the word, we call them miracles. And then basically what a miracle is something you don't understand that takes place. You get a result for something that you don't understand why you got the result.
Right, so we call that a
We use
miracle.
that word and we say it's a miracle. But actually, what it really is that God has already blessed us with the power of word.
Did you hear that? God has already blessed you
That
with
means
the
you
power of
already
the
have
word.
these things.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And the thing of it is, you said something a little earlier, Mom. You was talking about Cassius Clay or Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
If you ever really followed the way his career, he used his words. He used his word at a specific time. Like, so when when they're sitting at that table, you know, when introducing the boxers,
Yes.
then he would say something,
Yes.
right? Or when he's in the ring, because he says it while they're sitting there to get in the man's mind
Because
before
the battle is in the mind.
before you get in the ring.
Right.
So that's what he did. He would
He wants
get
to
in,
disarm
he
you.
gets in their head before they get in there. And then when he got in there and he got up close before the thing, and you know how they come together? He would say something. And then when they got close, he would say something like, I was with your mom, or whatever,
Because
something to make
he
him mad.
understood the power of his words.
He
knew
did.
that fight started way before we got in this
Way
ring.
before.
And that's
we got
what
in the
really
ring.
happens. He was one of the few guys that understood that.
Right.
Everybody made that a blueprint
Right.
in order to be successful in that business. Is you have to understand that before you use your physical portion, you have to go to the word, and that the word's even more powerful. And a lot of guys have counted themselves out. They lost that fight mentally
It's
before they even got
it's
in
up
there.
here, right?
So,
It starts here.
and you know what? A lot of these guys probably were physically capable of beating Muhammad Ali, but they weren't mentally capable of beating him
Right.
because they didn't understand those principles.
And
He's like, I'm the greatest.
I'm the greatest.
He was telling you, I'm the greatest. You ain't gonna beat me. I'm the greatest.
You can't beat me. Well, I have an example that's a little closer to home because I remember when Richard was All-Star.
Uh-oh.
Do you remember that, Rick? When you was All-Star in basketball?
Yeah,
And
I won't
you
forget that ever.
played an exhibition game with Michigan State. Was it Michigan State?
That was
Which?
no, that wasn't one of the big three. That was Wayne State.
Wayne State, okay. And you got on that basketball court, and one of those players from that state college basketball team said, "You might as well give me the ball." I never forgot that. He just started talking all kinds of stuff to you guys. You might as well just give me the ball. And you said, I felt like giving him the ball.
Well, because we weren't used to that level of like,
Right.
People talk you right out of your game. Coming from one country playing in another country, you realize real fast that this game means a lot more to them than it did to us. So, but
You're just happy to be in the game with them. And So, yeah, that was awesome. I mean, it is true when you investigate the power of words, and you can see it in your own life, how many times you said something and you wished you hadn't said it because it brought about different results.
It's like your words are like a ship. It's like a ship on the ocean, and it's going in a direction. If you say it positive, you can get to that port that you're trying to get to if you're speaking the right words, saying the right things at the right time.
That's true.
And then somewhere in the process of that journey, you say something negative, and that's what we do. That it's like a router. What do you call that? What do you call that? The thing that turns
Rudder.
The rudder.
Rudder.
It's like the rudder. So when you speak negative, that rudder starts to move. Now, if you keep speaking negative, then the boat. See, one of the things about ships is they're going in that direction. It doesn't just turn. It doesn't do that. It slowly turns. Just one click off, you will be
can be
completely in a
hundreds of
different
miles
place.
away from your destination.
So it just takes that one way of saying things, one word against your destiny, and you'll find yourself one click off from where you should be.
right.
So your words are really powerful.
They
They're-
really are.
They really are powerful.
Yeah, Mom has apparently left the camera, so I'm going to take over the whole thing. No, I'm not. I'm just playing.
You shouldn't
Believe
have moved
it
the
or
ball
not.
too late.
I'm seeing Alvin and Angela and Marjorie and Joe Lewis,
What up, though?
and they're
Yes.
all have tuned in. Some of you, I missed your name on there, but we thank you for tuning in. We hope that we're saying something that you can follow along and get in our conversation with us.
As Margie says that God has given us that power.
Yes.
He's given us the power.
100%.
He said in the beginning, he created us in his image.
Right.
We are in the image of God.
Yeah, I think when we got in that conversation last night, I was on a roll, so
Yep.
I think I used all my fingers in that conversation. I don't got nothing to say right
Well,
now.
that's why we're so educated today,
I know,
because you
I
talked
know.
so much last night.
We were you guys should have been here. We should have had this thing on live last night.
Yeah.
We was cooking last night.
Scriptures being quoted.
We was all
and
kinds of
quoting Kings and Nietzsche and we was going deep. We went in on that.
we was all up in that one. Right now we just going keywords.
You know, yeah, we should have brought you in on that one. But
That was a good one. Next time we gonna be live before we.
let's go live when we get there.
When we get there.
'Cause I run out of words quick, man.
But what you were saying is we were created in God's image. And
Yes.
when God creates, the thing about an image, it's a mirror. It's a mirror. People like to hear this. But we're created like God, which means we should be doing a lot of the things that he does. He doesn't create something and say, well, you know, I'm creating this and then, okay, I don't want you to succeed. I don't want you to do nothing. I don't want you to have money. I don't want you to have, you know what I mean? I don't want you to have success. You can't speak the word. You can't.
Can't
That
have
don't
the
make
power
sense.
I got.
Yeah, I think that's where we went to.
That's where we
we
went,
were talking
yes.
about how if God created us in his image and he used his word was his most powerful tool in order to create all this stuff, creating us in his image, it wouldn't really make that much sense if he created us without giving us the power to create. Because that's what he did.
Right.
That's why animals can't build a house, or they can't, you know what I mean? They can't do these things. We're the only ones that can speak things into existence. So I think that is the power we have, and we don't use it, or we do use it without knowing. And it's usually for the
Right.
wrong reasons, because
Right.
we'll say something nasty to somebody. When you get mad, you'll say
Yes,
something.
you'll say all
I
the wrong
had
things.
somebody say something so nasty to me, I'm just wondering, like, did that person really mean to say something that nasty in order to try to get a point across? You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And these words, they stick with you for years.
They do.
When somebody says something like that to you, whether you can be a very thick-skinned person or not, but we have to guard the people around us for the simple fact that a lot of times you don't even want to hear this stuff.
Right.
You can't hear it. You know what I mean?
Well, most people that are battling depression or rejection, it's all because of words that were spoken to them at a very early age.
Right.
Yeah.
People who can't seem to learn or be successful because of their own image of themselves has everything to do with words that someone that was their peer when they were younger spoke into their life. And they have this mind battle going on. They're not that little 10-year-old child anymore. They're 40, 50 years old, and that same word is
still
penetrating their life
it's-
and destroying their victories.
Yeah.
And you wondering why you can't move forward, and and if you can take, sometimes, like I always say, if you can't see it, you can't change it. But seeing it is half the battle. Sometimes you need to you got to figure it out. How can I see something? I think you have to get around people who speak life.
I mean, in order to solve any problem, the first thing you got to do is figure out how you got into it. Number one, you
Right.
can't get out of a building unless you know how you got in it. It's the same way with
That's
solving
a
personal
principle,
issues.
yeah.
doors.
Like most people can blanket this whole thing and just put a big rubber stamp and say, listen, first thing we got to do is forgive everyone for everything they've ever done to you right off the bat. You want to start off 2017 the right way? Do
Oh,
that.
Do that.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
If
That's
you
a
don't
good
do
one.
anything else, forgive everyone that's ever did something to you, said something to you that you carried forward in your life and you thought about it and you wanted revenge or you wanted to get back at somebody. Forgive everyone. Once you release that load right there, you're about 50% away from getting where you're trying to go.
Yes,
so that's what
Oh,
I'm
There
saying.
is power in forgiveness. There's power.
There is so much, and that's the beginning of it all.
Yes.
Because when you forgive, you release yourself from the words or the hurt or the
Because
conflict.
it's not just about them.
Right. It's not about
just
them. It's about
them.
you.
It's about you.
And the best way to forgive is with your words. The thing of it is, when I was going through my thing of forgiveness, it's like I had to say, because it's the mind thing,
The
right?
mind
So the mind keeps that
The words in the
thoughts
mind.
keeps telling you this is what they said. Remember when they said that, and you go, no, I forgave them. So I had to constantly say it.
Yeah.
People, because the ones who know me know I talk to myself all the time. Yeah, I'm big, Mickey, no. But I talk to myself all the time, and one of the things that I'm saying to myself, not to me, but I'm saying it to the enemy, and to myself is, no, I forgave that person. I'm not holding this. I let them go. And the best way to do that is you have to find compassion. You have to have compassion for them. Because
Yes.
sometimes when you're holding forgiveness, it's like you put yourself above. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. But if you have compassion for somebody, it's easier to forgive.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Because you don't make it like,
If you can't start out having compassion for them, at least have some for yourself.
have some
and
for yourself.
Get yourself free.
Right. So that's what I had to do. I had to find the compassion to say, you know what? They have their issues too. Nobody is perfect. Everybody's got something, and this is theirs. And when I start doing that and putting a face to it, putting a name to it, like, and this is words. I put a name to it. I begin to have compassion for that person, and then it became easier and easier to forgive them.
That's true.
And it's with your words as well.
Yes.
One thing I recognize too, we have Master Sergeant Lewis here with us, and he's over people. And so when he's doing his job, he's speaking words with authority, And so what he says is important to guide the people that are under him in the right direction for their success. And that's what happens with pastors also. We use our words to help people to get into that successful life that God has called us all to be in. Whether you're a Christian or not, you're a human being and God has called you to succeed.
That's right.
He said to the human race, he didn't say to the Christian race, he said to the human race, the earth is yours. Go out and subdue it and control it. He gave us everything that he created. He put it in our hands.
Control it, not
except
control people.
He didn't give us man to control. You can't, not supposed to try to control man. That's where our problem is. But yes,
animals and stuff.
That's right. So when you
not
speak
an
words
animal.
with authority, it changes things. And even when you're starting this journey in 2017, find a place that you are. No matter where you are in your success level, maybe you haven't had any success at all. But when you find that place, begin to speak to yourself words of encouragement. You're somebody. Start saying that to yourself. I am somebody, and I deserve to be blessed.
I can do anything I put my. That's what when we were growing up, my mom used to say that. She used to say that to us. You can do anything you put your mind to. What do you want to be? I want to be you can be a president if you want to.
I said, you can
be,
go anywhere in this world. There's
you can do
nothing that
anything.
can stop you but you.
Yeah.
Right.
The only thing stops you.
Why? Because I had all those words that limited my thinking, me. And I didn't want those things to limit my children.
Yeah.
So I started to speak it and hope they didn't turn around and look and say, well, you haven't done anything,
Look.
Mom.
Well, and that's a good point you brought up, because a lot of us hold our parents responsible for the success we started off in life. Or they didn't teach me the right stuff.
Right.
Yeah, listen, they can't teach you what they don't know. Now,
That's
I'm not saying that to be like I'm trying
Say
to
it.
dog your parents out. All I'm saying is this. Now that you know this, you got to understand it like this. You have an opportunity to teach your kids something else.
That's
You know what I mean? And
That's right.
For
The
example,
reason for-
for
you know what I mean?
example, Rick, I never ate chicken in my life. You tell this is a funny story, honestly.
and as a result, you never cooked it either.
Yeah.
No.
I couldn't cook it. I was too scared of it. But I didn't tell my kids that they couldn't eat chicken and that they couldn't like it. They all love it.
Right.
My mom didn't eat chicken until the first time I ever see my mom eat chicken, I think it was probably maybe 15 years ago. We were at Morsarillo,
Oh yes.
and they served chicken
It was
cordon bleu. I remember it,
And I
and that's
tasted
all they had, and we was hungry. And I seen Mom cut that chicken and put it in her mouth. I looked at her
I
like,
didn't dislike it. It was the principle that they were little creatures, and I saw how they were killed.
yeah.
Okay.
So that was the reason I didn't.
But that's a good lesson right there.
Yes.
That's the trauma of
It was
your
trauma.
young mind can stop you from doing something. Trauma.
Yeah.
the things that from you, a lot of things start when you're younger, and it's that trauma that stops you, that limits you because
right.
it limited your parents or whoever around you, because you are influenced by the people around you.
Right.
I just love having this conversation with my children.
No, 'cause
When we get in the middle of it, they just forget who I am and they just talk. I love it. Last night, Rick was the top of our subject. We all had to back down and let him talk.
Like, oh,
I'm not going to do that to y'all tonight. But,
We're ganging up on you, so we got you in the middle.
and Clifford was our entertainment. He was dancing.
But it is thrilling to know that when God created us, He had a manual for how we should operate. And I don't think any of us ever read the manual. You have a car out there and something happens to it. Most of you have never read the manual. Gas cap is not on your car tight, so your car's losing power. You didn't even know that. It's in your manual.
Right, right.
Read the manual that God gave you, and we will be, all of us, be way further up the road than we are right now.
yeah, I think we should learn something every day.
Mm.
And more importantly, we got to understand this. We went through our entire lives learning everything else but how we operate.
Good, that's
How
good.
your mind operates.
That's
how
good.
this universe operates. We know how to do everything. We can fix a car. We can build a house. We can make computer software programs. We can do all this stuff, but we don't know how we work.
That's why we have so much trouble in relationships.
This is the struggle, is because when you don't, trying to figure out why is that person doing that. But what you really have to ask is, how are you in a situation that allowed that person to do that to you?
Right. Why would you allow yourself to stay in a situation?
Whatever
that you find
situation
yourself?
that is.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
So true.
We got to start with ourselves. When you do that, then you'll see how easy problems get solved. Like, wow, is that easy? Solve that, and just start with you.
Yes.
What did I do in order to be in this situation? What was my contribution? You know what I mean? So
Yes, and there's a lot of things, like Margie was saying, you do need the Holy Spirit in many things to guide you through life, because we don't know tomorrow. Because we can speak to things too, but there, a lot of things that the Holy Spirit leads and guides us in a direction for the greatest success.
That's absolutely true.
So you speak it. It's like you use him as a co-pilot, right? So you say something and he says, okay, that's awesome. Okay, now get over there, get in that lane, go over there, go down this road, it's like GPS. Holy Spirit's like
that.
GPS.
Yeah.
You know what GPS, when you're driving along and then you go down the wrong road, and then it says, make a U-turn. Redirect. Rerouting. And that's what he does. So even as you're going in the wrong direction, he can say, okay, you need to change those words.
Well, how do people know if they're going in the wrong direction when everything seems normal? Even chaos seems normal to some people. So tell them what to do. How you find out if you're going in the wrong direction when people have chaos?
Well,
is that good or what?
That's a good question, Mom.
Well, listen, if you have chaos, then you know you're going in the wrong direction. It's because the results. Like, if you ever want to find out where you are in your life and what your mind's thinking about, just look at the results of your life. Your results are exactly a correlation of what you're thinking about. That's how you end up in situations. You thought about it before you got there. Your mind put you there. So it's the results. If you don't want to see what direction you're going in, just look at the results.
If you don't like those results,
if you want to see what kind of tree that is, look what fruit it bears. If it's an apple tree, then it's unlikely it's going to bear walnuts.
Yep.
It's going to give you apples.
It's going to be a little nutty apple tree.
So,
I like that. That's a good one. I'll write that down.
So if you're bearing a nut tree.
Yeah, and if that did happen, you'd be horrified. Trying to figure out
that is so true. Absolutely. I love that. We have to write that one down. Keep that in our mind. It is absolutely true. This year, we are on our own journey for success. and we wanted to share our travel with you, hoping
Yeah.
that you'll join in with us, and
That's
so
it.
that you'll have success.
Yeah, let's do it together.
Let's
You
do
know,
it together.
and
Yes.
It's like a lot of people try to define success as having lots of money. That means you're successful. That's not exactly what that means. Having lots of money is the end result of success. Because Nietzsche, Napoleon Hill, these guys define success as the progressive realization of a worthy goal. That means
Yeah.
wherever you are right now,
Yeah.
if you are progressing to something worthy that you pursue, then you're successful.
Then you're successful.
That's what it means.
That's good.
Doesn't mean, oh, I got all the money in the world. Well, guess what? There's people that have that still take their own lives
That's
because
oh,
they
yeah.
don't feel successful.
That's
Right.
right.
It's here that you have success.
That's
So.
right.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because you see a lot of people in these third world countries who have nothing,
Yeah.
and they have more joy than most people who have a lot of money.
Well, because we would compare ourselves
Right.
to what
That's right.
success is.
Right.
We don't know how big this room is. This room is big, only comparison to something else.
To another
It's
Oh,
just
room,
is,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right.
This room, like your success right now, compared to somebody in a third world country, you're just like Solomon in all his glory living
Yes,
here. So
yeah,
to
yeah.
them, you're a millionaire
Right.
with whatever you got. But so we gotta, be thankful for where you are, number one, and then realize where you are so you can progress towards something you want to do.
Moving toward your
or
goals
a
in
relationship
life.
you want to,
Yeah,
fix.
because you do have to. When you're on this journey, everything about your life has to reflect success.
Right.
Your relationships and the things that we say can destroy relationships. I mean,
Oh, and
you can't
words,
just
words are always
Oh,
the one
my
that
goodness.
destroy relationships.
yes, speak
Yes.
those. Put your
It's
hand
usually
over your
words.
mouth when you.
So, I mean, there's recipes for these things.
There's
I mean,
recipes.
we can,
Absolutely.
oversimplify it and just say, forgive everyone. Number one, let's do that.
Let's start there.
2017, forgive everyone and don't take anything personal. Anything.
Right.
My
nothing.
favorite words.
Somebody
Don't take
say
it
something
personal.
to
Don't
you
take
nasty.
it personal.
That's how you should, let stuff just ride right off you. When they say something nasty to you and it just goes one ear out the other,
Water
it's
up a
because you
duck's back.
decided that you're not going to take anything personal. If
Yes,
somebody says something nasty to you, that's not really about you.
Mhm.
That's about them.
that's right.
So you have to look at it like that. That person, what are
They're
they
revealing themselves.
going through that allowed them to sink that low to say something like that?
I like that.
If you think about it like that, so it's not about you. So because you're thinking of it like that, you cannot take it personal.
That's
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean? And when you
So
do
good.
that, you will not stress about these things. Oh, I wonder what that person's thinking about me.
Oh,
Well, I'm not taking it personal, so I don't care about that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
and for some, because I know for me personally, I can be personal about myself. I don't mind doing that. That was one of those things I had a problem with. I always worried about what does that person think about me, and it used to be a daily struggle.
Yeah.
And it's something that I can say that I have 100. I feel like I'm at 98 because it's something you deal with. When you've ever dealt with it, you deal with it. But I deal with it because I know that wherever you have been hurt, you can be hurt there again.
That's right. That's
Wherever, if
You
something
gotta
has
know
happened
your
there,
vulnerable spots.
that's a weakened spot. It's building, it's getting better, and it's getting stronger, but it always will be a weak spot when
Right.
you come back to it.
Right.
And but the more you conquer it, the stronger it gets. So you have to continue. Tell yourself, there is nothing that I can't do. I'm not gonna let anyone. I'm not worried about what anyone says about me or what anyone thinks about me. I had to start saying no for everything just to say no
Yes.
because I used to feel bad because I would say no.
Yeah, wait, we gotta learn that we have the right to say no.
We have the right to say no. But
And
see,
it's
some people don't
okay.
think you have a right to say no. They get all offended, and I used to feel bad because, well, I want to help you. It was like, you know what? No.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
But I had to go all the way over there to be mad at people. I mean, I'm just being honest. When I was starting, I had to say, no, I'm not doing that. And when I would feel bad, I go, I'm not feeling bad about that.
You're talking to yourself.
I'm
You're
talking
saying
to
the right
myself.
words to yourself.
Right, but what it did, it helped me learn that I'm important too, and I get to say no. If I don't want to do something, then I'm not going to do it.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
and it's okay.
And there's nothing wrong with communicating that.
Right.
Because like a lot of times we avoid that because it becomes, I don't know if the person's going to like me anymore if I say,
Right.
Right.
hey Rick, give me $5,000. No, not because I don't want to give it to you because I haven't got it. No. But what I'm saying is find your
even if
voice
you
to
have
say
it,
no.
you
I
can
ain't got
still say
5
no.
G's on you. That's a tall order right there.
That's true. And for all of you out there that are facing depression or dark days, that was my biggest thing in life. A lot of people don't think of music as words, but it's just words set to music. And a person who is depressed, I'm telling you, you got to stop listening to the depressing music because it's just adding to your life. I was depressed and I listened to the blues all the time. Never felt more like singing the blues. And I sang those songs and it reinforced my sadness and my sorrow. Didn't
Right,
realize, I
that's
thought it
true.
was comforting me at the time.
Right.
That's true.
I thought, okay, I'm sad and they're singing sad songs, so that makes me feel better. But actually, it was reinforcing my sadness.
Because
So,
you're thinking the song identifies,
Right.
song
Oh,
identifies
they
where
know
I'm
my
at.
life.
But
Oh.
all you're doing is you're staying in it by keep singing it.
that's right.
Because
And
the more you start singing it, so there was a song that when I would, as years ago, when I would feel depressed about stuff, Pastor Smith used to sing that song. I love that.
Hallelujah. Anyhow.
Hallelujah, anyhow. Never let your troubles get you down.
When life's troubles,
When life's troubles come your way,
lift
lift your head up high and say, Hallelujah, anyhow.
that was
Remember?
Yep, that was
And
I
Elvis.
remember
would-
that.
Yeah.
Let me say this, but I do remember this song Elder Smith used to sing because I died laughing in church every time he sang this song. When they was taking up the offering, he used to say, "Come on with your money."
And don't
No,
be
I'm like,
afraid
"Gee."
to give.
I said, you can't
You
be a
got the
little
whole
more blunt than
world
that,
in
Elder
his
Smith.
hand, and he sure will let you
I'm
live.
like, geez, like, well, if I don't give you it, what's going to happen? Wait a minute. Man.
Oh, we loved him. I did.
Yeah,
But those
I
are the
remember
songs
that.
that I sang to get me over that little hump. And it's amazing. You'll sing a song that's like, you can do it. I can make it. And guess what? You can do it and you can make it.
Mm-hmm, you can.
Yes.
Yes, you can. That's so exciting. So, yes, you people out there who are singing the blues, kind of change your words so you can be lifted up out of the dark places.
yeah. We're going into 2017 happy and successful and gaining understanding. Don't stop learning because you really need to keep learning.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you learn something new, your brain creates another electrical connection in your brain. It literally grows. When
That's
you
what the
learn
Bible
stuff.
says to get understanding.
You know,
And that's-
we're dealing with Alzheimer's, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we just discovered one of the treatments for patients who are having this phenomena, because there's no cure for it,
So they
is to learn a musical instrument,
Yeah, because it calls
to
us
learn
spirits.
another language.
Yeah.
Yes, and so learning stimulates your brain,
Yes.
which affects your whole body.
Right.
But listen, we got to understand that the brain is part of your body. Just like anybody that's in the physical fitness industry,
Yes.
if you don't train your muscles and use them on a regular basis, guess what? They go away.
They go away.
Well, guess what happens to your brain when you stop learning new stuff?
Yeah.
Like you lose cognitive ability just for I don't use it, so those connections are broken forever.
Right.
Until you start learning something else. So we got to understand that you can't disconnect your brain and your mind from your body. We got to think about, like, if I want to grow spiritually, mentally, physically, I have to use these things on a regular basis. So
And you can start wherever you are. You know,
that's right.
it doesn't matter what you feel like, what's going on in your life. It's like today is the day.
Right.
Today you choose. You choose today. The next moment, going forward. And
Yes.
this is what I always say when I'm working. You know what? Okay, going forward, let's do this.
Yes.
Starting now.
Yeah. That's,
Okay.
Start where you stand.
Start where you are, where you stand. and make those positive, godly choices for your life that you may walk in success.
Yeah, and we really didn't need to wait till January 1st to make a New Year's resolution, because what is that about? Like, I'm going to be successful after my kids leave the house, or when I get enough time, or you know what I mean, we make excuses for postponing the things you already know how to do and what to do. You don't need anybody else to tell you what to do, because most people know what they want to do.
They know what they want to do.
But what really happens is we stop ourselves way before that thing, whatever it is you're trying to do, stops you. We create our own obstacles way before that. So let's not have them. You see the obstacles, we call them a barrier. It's a terror barrier. You hit that terror barrier, it's an obstacle in your life. Just blast right through it. Whatever you're gonna do, just do it. I was on a plane coming back from Las Vegas. Actually, no, I was actually going to Las Vegas, and I thought of a mobile app, and it was just a mental thing. I was just thinking about this thing, like, what if they had an app that did this? And I'm not gonna tell you what it is right now, because we actually have this thing under construction, and it's like in the final stages of a beta version. So it's something I moved on when I got back. I'm like, what's to stop me from creating this app? You know what I mean? And this was like, big business app. This is going to be one of those things that if, it goes the way I believe it's going to go, that we might be revolutionizing the physical fitness industry.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? The way we listen to music, the way we, it's without getting into all the details about it, because I'll get with you about that later. But it was just something I thought of, and then when I got back, I was like, why don't I do it?
Right, so you spoke it to yourself.
And then I just started doing it.
Right.
I have no idea. I don't program apps. I have no idea how that stuff works. But I just started wherever I was, go on the internet, research how apps are made. And then you just start whatever the process is.
So when you start on this journey of healing, whether it's mental or physical healing or spiritual healing, when you start on that journey, you step into that place, and all of a sudden, that creative sense that God gives every human begins to operate through you. And I know you get creative ideas.
Everyone does.
Everyone gets
has
them.
Something that they wanted to do. If you talk to them long enough, anybody, you talk to them
Just
long
like
enough.
Clifford, remember when we were younger and they were on the basketball court and they were playing basketball,
at night.
and he was playing at nighttime, and he said, "I need some lights for my shoes so we can stay outside longer."
Yes.
Remember?
Didn't move on it, and what did they do? They have lights in these tennis shoes that the kids are wearing. I said that could have been his money. A lot of little things like that we talk ourselves out of it.
Yes.
Because it sounds like so
It's
far-reaching.
it sounds so big.
This stuff is, let's not get it twisted, this stuff is intimidating. And with good reason.
Yes.
But we got to look at it like this. Everybody that has enjoyed any type of success on this planet with anything is exactly the same as you.
That's right. It's
And that's
so
the
true.
part I had to grasp, is that, like, the Wright brothers are no different than you.
That's
the only thing
right.
that's different to them is they decided they were going to do something, and they did it.
They acted on that
They
creative
just, okay, you know
thought.
what? They weren't even aviation mechanics. These guys were bicycle mechanics.
Right. Maybe they were just bird watchers.
You know what I mean? You gotta think about that, though. Seriously, these guys were bicycle mechanics in the backyard. Now, if they was alive right now today, doing that in your next door neighbor, like they were your kids next door, doing that, we'd be saying, them kids are gonna kill themselves.
That's right. That's right.
If they were doing that. So all the geniuses are dead. You know what I mean? Seriously, because when Einstein was alive, we was ready to put him in the mental institution.
That's right. It's true, because it's so far beyond what we're thinking that it sounds almost
You have lost
crazy.
your mind.
Yes, you lost your mind. It's
You
just
lost
over
your
it.
mind.
But yes, for those of you who are watching us and you want those words of encouragement, just come back and watch our videos again and let our words encourage you to keep taking your steps on your journey to success. That's what we want to do. We want to help encourage you.
It's like anyone who decides to lose weight. I always hear it. I know because I've done it. Is you say, okay, this Monday I'm starting Monday. Monday is one of those things.
Well, Monday is always the reason why we use Monday, because Monday's after the weekend. It's a couple of days away. You're safe right now because it's not Monday today.
Right.
And well, it was Sunday today, but what it is I don't have to do anything right now.
I don't have to do nothing
and
right.
That's the reason we use. So next week I'm going to do all these things, and next week comes, guess what? You don't do any of these things. You won't do it.
Anything that you don't do now, you're not doing.
You have to start everything you want to do, where you stand, whatever it is you can do it now. Whatever portion of it you can do. So,
I like
yeah,
that.
I like that too. Thinking about that, like the fitness industry is a thing that wakes it up for me, because once you get passionate about that stuff, when you see how hard it is to break through that physical fitness thing and then gain success in that industry or with your own body, then you understand what everybody else is going through when they try to do this.
That's
Yes.
right.
You know what I mean?
So we want all of you out there. We want to help you in every one of your endeavors.
Yeah.
We have here someone that can help you get your body in shape, and you need to get your body in shape.
Yeah.
And we have pastors here to get your spiritual life in shape. And we have cooks. They teach you how to cook if you want to cook. We are going to be able to help you, encourage you in any endeavor that you go into so you can find your success. But we're going to start right here with our words and hope you come and join us.
Because you have to start somewhere.
Start somewhere.
Yeah, and if you have something you can add to it, then you can probably help us too. Because we're, like I said earlier, we're going through this together. It's not
Together,
like,
yes.
I'm not a millionaire yet, but like that's one of those
But
things.
let's
I
go
already
get it
claimed
together.
I already, you know what I mean? I already visualized exactly what I'm going to do with it, the tools I'm going to be able to have in order to help other people do what they're trying to do. And that's one of kind of my passions, is to do that. So.
Yes.
Yeah, we want to enjoy a success all along the way.
Right.
We want to enjoy the journey. And we can enjoy the journey when our bodies are healed and our minds are whole. That's how we enjoy the journey.
Okay, so first point. What is the first point? Because we talked about a few things, and they were awesome. What is the first point in starting?
Starting is to forgive.
Forgive yourself
To
and everyone else.
Take account of your life and all your relationships and forgive everybody.
And that means people that
Release
when you
them.
think of them, you get a knot. You get that feeling that comes over you when you hate people.
That's step number one.
Well, it
And
takes
then-
a lot of energy.
And
to
it
hate
takes
somebody.
a lot of energy to hate people, and then you say, okay, I forgive, and then you go to, when you actually see them, you can't even look them in the eye, or you glaring at them or whatever, you haven't forgiven them, but don't, it's okay. You continue to stay on that path of declaring, no, I forgave them. I was telling one of my friends, I said, you know what you do? Do something, if this is somebody that you really have something against, do something for them.
That's a big one.
As a Christian, try to pray for somebody you hate. Start there.
Yeah.
Pray for somebody speak life over somebody that you don't like.
Yes.
Start there.
Start there. Start there. That's number one.
What's number two?
Number two, I think we were talking about don't take anything personal.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
We're
right.
not going to take anything personal. And
That keeps you from being hurt a lot.
once you gain this understanding, you'll laugh on how easy it makes you feel so much better to listen to someone speak negatively about you or try to talk down to you in any way, or you get chastised by somebody, and your previous reaction in the old days you would have did A, B, and C. Your new reaction with this understanding is you're not going to take it personal, and it's not going to affect your life, and you can still focus on your goals and the things you're trying to achieve. And those people will get something from you, because they'll notice that. They won't say nothing today,
Right.
but when they walk away, they'll think, that guy didn't even react, or that girl didn't even react to that, what I said.
That's right.
or what I
They
tried
can.
to do.
Then they'll never be able to say that you were nasty back.
They'll come back later on,
They will come back.
one day, and they're going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Remember
and
when
you
you
have,
did that?
because
No,
it's not
I-
about it's not
yeah.
about it's not about them or you. It's about them when they say something nasty. So,
Right.
like I said, don't take anything personal.
Don't take it
That's number
personally.
two.
Forgive. Don't take it personally. And
And
number
number
three is read a book.
Learn something new.
Learn something new. I challenge you to pick a book each month and read it. And you can start with one of these right here.
One of my favorite books is,
That one, yes.
I've been reading this book for about 10 years. And how can I read the same book for 10 years? You get this book. This is not a book you
And
read
we'll discuss
and
it
give
with
away.
you. That's right.
Well,
You
we'll
keep
get
it.
into this one later. This is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And this is a book that I will, at any given time, go back in here and just read something out of it, because this is a life study, and this is something they should be teaching in schools.
Right.
We all should know this
The
stuff.
principles
But
of thinking.
Get this, when you start reading it, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Right.
Because we'll get into that another time.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
Yeah,
right
just,
now,
just go ahead and read the book. Go ahead and purchase the book, read the book, and at some other point, we will discuss it with you.
right,
Yes,
Yes.
find another book. Mom, do you
That's
have a
Think
book?
and Grow Rich. No, just this one.
you're by
I
Napoleon
have
Hill.
this by Napoleon Hill. And
That's
it's
good.
a very common book because I think it's required reading in college.
No,
in some
I
colleges.
wish it was, but I don't think it is.
Oh.
One thing about these books is this, people call this the self-help
Mm-hmm.
industry, but this is just like you're just learning about you. These books are talking about you, and once you get this book, it has not a lot to do with money. You know,
It has to do
not
with the
looking at the
principle of
title, you think
thinking
it's about money,
positively.
but it's mostly about how you work.
I have a really good book that I've read
Go.
a few times called Commanding Your Morning by Cindy Trim.
Cindy Trim.
Trimm. You talking about speaking, because she starts off the book talking about in the beginning God created, and he spoke words, and it talks about words,
Yes.
and that book really touched me, and I've read it so many times. It's called Commanding Your Morning.
That's an awesome book.
Yes.
You
The
should.
things that because you find yourself waking up at 3:00 in the morning.
Mhm.
I mean, you have a rhythm. Everybody has a rhythm. But there's some time within that night you find yourself waking up. Do you know that around 3:00 in the morning, 2:00 is when most people die?
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
That time of the night is when those who do rituals,
Mhm.
they get up at that time in the morning to start their rituals.
Mhm.
If they're speaking like voodoo or those kind of things, they start wee hours in the morning
Mhm.
to speak on that day, to speak what's going to happen that day. So you find yourself, especially those who are Christians or have the Holy Spirit, will find yourself waking up at around 3:00 in the morning, two or three, and that's when God really wants you to get up and pray and start speaking words of life for
Start
your
early.
command your day. Got to read that book.
Command your day and think and grow rich.
Is there another one?
Awesome.
When we start getting these endorsements now, I'm talking about these book companies. Y'all gonna have to start hooking us up for doing. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, now this is good reading. So
Oh, good
just,
reading.
Yes,
You will
something
not
to
go
read
wrong reading this
over and
book.
over
You will not go
again.
wrong.
I'm not looking to get
And
nothing back right
and
away
for
from
those
that.
of you, I know that you're reading the Bible.
Oh.
Just go to the book of Psalms and just start there.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know where to start.
Yeah, just start in
Yeah.
the book of Psalms and read that, and I'll tell you, it's awesome Word of God.
Book Proverbs.
The whole book. We love books, and I know most people are on their cell phones and they're on Facebook, but sometimes it's better to go pick up a book.
Yeah, there's something about a book.
Get off of the.
Because
Yes.
a lot of times these things put me to sleep too. They're good sleep tools, but if you absolutely have to I want to breeze right through this, you can actually download these audio books,
This is
put them on
true.
a disc and listen to it in the car on the way
Yes.
to work or something like
Yeah,
that. And that's how I
that's
choose to use my travel time is
Yes.
I do listen to audiobooks
Yes.
because I can get through 2 and 3 books in a month easy.
Yes.
Just, you know what I mean? Or not a month, but a week
Yes.
by listening to an audio.
Just listening to it. Oh, that's
So yes, we just want you to play catch up with us and go on this journey with us. Forgiving, read a book,
Don't take anything
and
personal.
don't take anything personal. That's just the beginning,
Yeah.
and so we're excited about that.
So-
Hope you are too.
Hey, 2017, I'm here, baby.
Yes, 2017. You know what? I'm looking for some great things to happen.
Me too. I'm excited. excited.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much. Before we end, is there anything else you guys want to say before we close off today?
I'd like to say Happy New Year, everybody, and thanks for tuning in.
Happy New Year. That's what I want to say. Happy New Year to all of you, and to all of you that gave me birthday wishes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it with my whole heart. Love you.
Happy birthday.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for listening to us, and I hope that you come and see us again next week. Same
And so
time.
we're so grateful for Master Sergeant Lewis joining us. Wasn't that wonderful? Like and love and
yes, we
share
want to see some
because
hearts
he's
and some
here.
likes going across the page.
That's right.
Pretty soon this is going to be my own channel. I'm gonna take this thing. I'm just kidding. But it was good to actually sit with you guys in person because we were doing this stuff. Like
Yeah.
you guys are 2,000 miles away.
That's right.
We're trying to figure out the technicality or the logistics of
And we're gonna
making this work technically. So I think we got a solution for it.
I think so too.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Yes, only bigger and better going forward, so.
Thanks, Terry, for the likes.
Yeah.
Yes, see there. That's
See,
what I
that's
like
what
to
I
see.
want to
Thank
see.
you,
Likes,
Terry.
likes. Just keep pressing that button. Okay, well, you know what? God bless you guys. Have a wonderful, happy new year. Go forth and conquer.
Woohoo! Go forth and conquer.